Michael Gerard Tyson, nicknamed Iron Mike and Kid Dynamite, was a professional boxer known for his fierce style and controversial behavior. He held the undisputed world heavyweight title from 1987 to 1990, and is considered one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. He was the youngest boxer ever to win a heavyweight title, and the first to simultaneously hold the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles. In 1992, Tyson was convicted of rape and served 3 years in prison before making a comeback and reclaiming the WBA and WBC titles. He lost the WBA title to Evander Holyfield in 1996, and was disqualified in their 1997 rematch for biting Holyfield's ear. In 2002, he was defeated by Lennox Lewis in a fight for the heavyweight title. Tyson has been inducted into both the International Boxing Hall of Fame and the World Boxing Hall of Fame. Michael Gerard Tyson was born on June 30, 1966 in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, New York City to a promiscuous mother who may have been a prostitute and a father who was a pimp and street person. Tyson's mother died when he was 16, and he was taken in by boxing manager and trainer Cus D'Amato, who became his legal guardian. Tyson grew up in neighborhoods with high crime rates and had a history of getting into fights and committing petty crimes. He was discovered to be a talented fighter by Bobby Stewart, a counselor at a juvenile detention center, and was trained by Stewart and Kevin Rooney. Teddy Atlas also assisted in Tyson's training, but was later dismissed by D'Amato. Tyson dropped out of high school and was later awarded an honorary doctorate in humane letters from Central State University. As an amateur boxer, Tyson won gold medals at the 1981 and 1982 Junior Olympic Games, and a gold medal at the 1984 Nation Golden Gloves. He lost 2 amateur bouts against Henry Tillman, who later won a gold medal at the 1984 Summer Olympics. In his first Junior Olympic win, Tyson defeated Joe Cortez, and in his second win, he beat Kelton Brown in the first round, with Brown's corner throwing in the towel. Michael Tyson made his professional boxing debut at 18 years old, recording a first-round TKO against Hector Mercedes. In his first year as a pro, he fought 15 times, winning 26 of his first 28 fights by knockout or TKO, 16 of them in the first round. His win streak gained media attention, and he was seen as a promising heavyweight champion. His first nationally televised bout was against Jesse Ferguson, which he won by disqualification after Ferguson began holding and clinching to avoid further punishment. Tyson then faced Marvis Frazier, defeating him easily with a knockdown in the first 30 seconds of the fight. In 1986, Tyson was given his first title fight, facing Trevor Berbick for the World Boxing Council Heavyweight Championship. He won the title by TKO in the second round, becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in history at 20 years and 4 months old. He later added the WBA and IBF titles after defeating James Smith and Tony Tucker. Tyson was known for his formidable strength, hand speed, accuracy, coordination, and timing, as well as his defensive abilities and signature moves, such as a right hook to the body followed by a right uppercut to the chin. Michael Tyson was highly anticipated to win the Heavyweight Unification Series, a tournament to determine the undisputed heavyweight champion. In 1987, he defended his title against James Smith, Pinklon Thomas, and Tony Tucker, winning all 3 fights and becoming the first heavyweight to hold the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles simultaneously. He also defeated 1984 Olympic super heavyweight gold medalist Terrell Biggs and former champion Larry Holmes. In 1988, Tyson faced Michael Spinks in a highly anticipated bout that was considered the richest fight in history at the time. The fight ended after 91 seconds when Tyson knocked Spinks out in the first round, considered the pinnacle of his fame and boxing ability. During this time, Tyson also gained attention from gaming company Nintendo, leading to the release of the successful game Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! During this time, Tyson faced personal turmoil including issues with his marriage and contract negotiations, leading to his departure from manager Bill Caton and trainer Kevin Rooney. In 1989, he had only 2 fights, defeating Frank Bruno and Carl Williams. In 1990, he lost the undisputed championship to Buster Douglas in a shocking upset that has been described as one of the most shocking in modern sports history. Douglas caught Tyson with a quick jab and an uppercut in the 8th round, knocking him to the floor, but Tyson was unable to find a way past Douglas's reach advantage. Douglas knocked Tyson out 35 seconds into the 10th round, ending his undefeated record. Tyson recovered from his loss to Douglas with first-round knockouts of Henry Tillman and Alex Stewart in his next two fights. These victories set up an elimination match for a shot at the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship, which Evander Holyfield had taken from Douglas in his first defense of the title. Tyson faced Donovan Ruddock on March 18, 1991, in Las Vegas, winning by a controversial decision in the seventh round that sparked a post-fight melee in the audience. The two fighters met again on June 28, with Tyson winning by unanimous decision. A fight between Tyson and Holyfield was scheduled for November 8, 1991, but Tyson withdrew due to a rib injury. In July 1991, Mike Tyson was arrested and charged with the rape of an 18-year-old woman, Desiree Washington, in an Indianapolis hotel room. During the trial, which took place from January 26 to February 10, 1992, Washington's account of the incident was partially corroborated by testimony from Tyson's chauffeur and the emergency room physician who examined Washington. Tyson claimed that the sexual encounter was consensual, but he was ultimately found guilty of rape on February 10, 1992, after the jury deliberated for nearly 10 hours. His defense team, led by lawyer Vincent J. Fuller, appealed the decision, citing errors in the exclusion of evidence and potential defense witnesses, as well as the lack of a jury instruction on honest and reasonable mistake of fact. The Indiana Court of Appeals rejected the appeal in a 2-1 vote, and the Indiana Supreme Court declined to hear the case due to a 2-2 split. On March 26, 1992, Tyson was sentenced to 6 years in prison and 4 years of probation. He served less than 3 years of the sentence at the Indiana Youth Center before being released in March 1995. It has been reported that Tyson converted to Islam while in prison and adopted the name Malik Abdulaziz, but he has stated that he actually converted before going to prison. As a result of his conviction, Tyson is required to register as a Tier 2 sex offender under federal law. After being released from prison, Mike Tyson easily won his comeback fights against Peter McNeely and Buster Mathis Jr. The first of these fights generated over $96 million in revenue worldwide, including a record $63 million for pay-per-view television in the US. The fight was viewed by 1.52 million households, setting both viewership and revenue records. The 89-second fight faced criticism for Tyson's management allegedly setting him up with easy opponents to ensure victories in his return. In 1998, TV Guide included the Tyson-McNeely fight in their list of the 50 greatest TV sports moments of all time. In March 1996, Tyson won the WBC title against Frank Bruno in their second fight, knocking Bruno out in the third round. Later in 1996, Lennox Lewis declined a $13.5 million offer to fight Tyson, but accepted $4 million from Don King to step aside and allow Tyson to fight Bruce Seldon for an expected $30 million instead, with the intention that if Tyson defeated Seldon, he would fight Lewis next. Tyson won the WBA belt by defeating Seldon in the first round in September of that year. Seldon faced criticism and mockery in the press for seemingly falling to Tyson's punches. Mike Tyson attempted to defend his WBA title against Evander Holyfield, who was in the midst of his own comeback, having retired in 1994 following a loss of his championship to Michael Moorer. At the time of the fight, Holyfield was 34 years old and seen as a huge underdog by many. On November 9, 1996, in Las Vegas, Tyson and Holyfield faced off in a bout dubbed, "Finally." In a surprising turn of events, Holyfield, who was given little chance of winning by numerous commentators, defeated Tyson by TKO when the referee stopped the fight in the 11th round. Holyfield became the second boxer to win a heavyweight championship belt 3 times. However, Tyson's camp alleged that Holyfield had engaged in frequent headbutts during the fight, which were ruled accidental by the referee, but would later become a point of contention in the rematch. Tyson and Holyfield faced off again on June 28, 1997 in a highly anticipated rematch dubbed The Sound and the Fury, which was held at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas and generated $100 million in revenue. It was purchased by 1.99 million households, setting a pay-per-view buy rate record that stood until 2007. Mills Lane was the referee for the fight, after Tyson's camp protested Halpern being the referee in the first bout. The fight ended in controversy in the third round when Tyson was disqualified for biting Holyfield on both ears. The first bite was severe enough to remove a piece of Holyfield's right ear, which was found on the floor after the fight. Tyson later claimed that he bit Holyfield in retaliation for him headbutting him repeatedly without penalty. The disqualification of Tyson in the rematch was the first time a heavyweight title fight ended in such a way in over 50 years. In the aftermath of the incident, $3 million was withheld from Tyson's $30 million purse by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and Tyson's boxing license was rescinded. However, his license was later restored in October 1998. During his time away from boxing in 1998, Tyson made a guest appearance at WrestleMania 14 as an enforcer for the main event match between Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin, and was paid $3 million for his involvement. In 1999, Tyson returned to the ring for a match against South African boxer Francois Botha, which ended in controversy. While Botha initially controlled the fight, Tyson allegedly attempted to break Botha's arms during a tie-up, and both boxers were cautioned by the referee. Despite being ahead on points, Botha was knocked out by a straight right hand from Tyson in the 5th round. Later that year, Tyson was sentenced to a year in prison and fined $5,000 for assaulting 2 motorists after a traffic accident in 1998. He served 9 months of the sentence and returned to the ring in October 1999, where he knocked out Orlin Norris in the 1st round. The fight was later ruled a no contest because Norris was unable to continue due to an injury. In 2000, Tyson had 3 fights, defeating Julius Francis, Lou Savarese, and Andrew Gallotta. The result of the Gallotta fight was later changed to a no contest after Tyson tested positive for marijuana. In 2001, Tyson fought Brian Nielsen in Copenhagen, winning by TKO in the 7th round. In 2002, Tyson had the opportunity to fight for the heavyweight championship held by Lennox Lewis, who held the WBC, IBF, EBO, and lineal titles at the time. The 2 boxers had previously sparred at a training camp in 1984, and Tyson sought to fight Lewis in Nevada for a more lucrative venue. However, the Nevada Boxing Commission refused to grant him a license due to potential sexual assault charges. In the lead-up to the bout, Tyson made inflammatory remarks to Lewis, including the statement, "I want your heart. I want to eat your children." The 2 boxers and their entourages were involved in a brawl at a press conference in New York to publicize the fight. After multiple states refused to grant Tyson a license, the fight took place on June 8 at the Pyramid Arena in Memphis, Tennessee, where Lewis dominated and knocked out Tyson in the 8th round. The fight was the highest-grossing event in pay-per-view history at that time, generating $106.9 million from 1.95 million buys in the U.S. In 2003, Tyson beat Clifford Etienne in 49 seconds in a fight in Memphis, which turned out to be his final professional victory. Later that year, he filed for bankruptcy, having amassed approximately $23 million in debt despite earning over $30 million for several of his fights and $300 million throughout his career. In 2004, he was knocked out by Danny Williams in Louisville, Kentucky, after tearing a ligament in his knee in the 1st round. In 2005, Tyson quit before the start of the 7th round in a bout against Kevin McBride, stating that he had lost his passion for the sport. In 2007, Tyson pleaded guilty to drug possession and driving under the influence in Arizona, admitting to using cocaine and being addicted to the drug. In 2006, Tyson announced he would be doing a series of exhibition bouts called Tyson's World Tour to help pay off his debts. For his first bout, he returned to the ring for a 4-round exhibition against Corey Sanders in Ohio. Although in good shape, Tyson held back in the exhibition to prevent the fight from ending early. The bout was poorly received by fans and the rest of the tour was cancelled. In 2020, it was announced that Tyson would fight former 4-division world champion Roy Jones Jr. in an 8-round exhibition bout in California. The fight, which was officially sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, was initially scheduled for September 12 but was later pushed back to November 28. The bout ended in a draw, with 2 judges scoring the fight differently and one declaring it a draw. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more content.